When you think of the world's oldest and most prestigious universities, what comes to mind? Maybe Oxford, with its Gothic spires and centuries of academic tradition. It was founded in 1096. But what if I told you that deep in the heart of West Africa, a city of knowledge existed that rivaled, and in many ways surpassed, the great learning centers of Europe during the same era? Welcome to the legendary city of Timbuktu. Let's rewind the clock to the 14th century. While Europe was just emerging from the Middle Ages, Timbuktu was entering its golden age. This wasn't just some remote outpost in the sand. This was a thriving, cosmopolitan metropolis, the beating heart of the powerful Mali Empire, and later, the Songhai Empire. Its name alone whispered of unimaginable wealth and mystery to the outside world. A place literally at the end of the road, where the camel met the canoe. Picture this: you're standing in the central market, the air thick with the scent of spices, leather, and fragrant oils. All around you is a symphony of languages: Arabic, Songhai, Tuareg, and dozens of others. You see caravans of 1,000 camels arriving from the north, their backs laden with giant slabs of salt from the Saharan mines. Salt was so valuable, it was traded ounce for ounce with gold. And the gold, it flowed from the mines of West Africa, making the emperors of Mali, like the famous Mansa Musa, the wealthiest individuals in the world. Merchants haggle over prices, their voices rising and falling in a rhythmic dance of commerce. They're trading not just gold and salt, but also ivory, cola nuts, fine textiles, and most importantly, books. Yes, books, because Timbuktu's greatest treasure wasn't its gold, but its knowledge. This brings us to the true soul of the city, its intellectual life. Timbuktu was home to the University of Sankore, a complex of mosques and schools that was one of the greatest educational centers in the Islamic world. Unlike the stone-walled universities of Europe, Sankore was an open community of scholars. There was no central administration, no formal curriculum. Instead, students would seek out individual masters, scholars renowned for their expertise in specific subjects. Imagine young men and women traveling hundreds, even thousands of miles, just for the chance to study here. They gathered in the courtyards of mosques or in the private homes of their teachers. The discussions were intense, the debates passionate. They weren't just studying theology. They delved into law, medicine, mathematics, and astronomy. Timbuktu's astronomers charted the stars with incredible precision. Their mathematicians grappled with complex equations, and their physicians wrote medical treatises that were centuries ahead of their time. The city was a magnet for the brightest minds from across Africa and the Middle East. At its peak, Timbuktu had over 180 schools and housed an estimated 25,000 students, which was a quarter of the city's entire population. Think about that for a second. 1 in every 4 people you met on the street could have been a student or a scholar. This wasn't just a city with a university, it was a university city. The lifeblood of this intellectual world was the manuscript. Timbuktu was a major hub for the book trade. Scribes worked tirelessly, copying texts by hand in beautiful calligraphy. These weren't just religious texts, they were works of poetry, history, science, philosophy, and law. Families took immense pride in their private libraries, passing down collections of books from one generation to the next. It's estimated that at its height, the city held hundreds of thousands of manuscripts, some say close to 1 million. This was a repository of knowledge greater than any single library in Europe. At the time, these books represented the accumulated wisdom of Africa and the Islamic world. They contained commentaries on Aristotle, detailed studies of optics, and complex legal theories. They show us a world where African scholars were actively engaging with and contributing to the great intellectual conversations of their day. But like all golden ages, Timbuktu's eventually came to an end. In 1591, a Moroccan invasion shattered the Songhai Empire. The invaders plundered the city, and worse, they targeted its scholars. Many were killed or exiled. It was a devastating blow, an act of cultural vandalism that set shockwaves through the intellectual world. The city began a long, slow decline. For centuries, its legendary status faded into myth, its manuscripts hidden away, forgotten by the wider world. Many were buried in the desert or sealed behind walls by families desperate to protect their ancestral heritage from invaders and the ravages of time. For hundreds of years, these precious documents remained hidden, a secret library scattered across the city. It wasn't until the late 20th and early 21st centuries that a massive effort began to find, preserve, and digitize these manuscripts. It's a race against time, fighting against the climate and political instability. Each manuscript recovered is a victory, a piece of a puzzle that rewrites our understanding of history. They prove that Africa was not a continent waiting to be discovered, but a continent of vibrant civilizations, of profound intellectual achievement, and a deep history. So, when we look at the old halls of Oxford or Cambridge, we should also remember the sandy courtyards of Sankore. Timbuktu was more than just a name on a map, more than a symbol of a distant, exotic place. It was a beacon of civilization, a testament to the universal human quest for knowledge. Its legacy is not just in the gold that once flowed through its markets, but in the ideas that were debated in its schools and the words that were written in its precious, enduring manuscripts. This is the true treasure of Timbuktu, a legacy that continues to inspire and educate us to this day. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the past. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into forgotten histories. Let me know in the comments what other historical mysteries you'd like to explore next. See you in the next video.